Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Yak Gadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs, go to eastport.info.
Now let's get this show started.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream of Chasin the Tide tournament recap. That's what we're doing tonight. We're going to recap the PRL single man kayak series that just went down this past weekend in Port Aransas in some brutal wins. We got some of the top finishers from the leaderboard on Sunday in the house tonight. Got them in the green room. Got them in the StreamYard studio, waiting to bring them on. Just want to get the ball rolling here. We got some people starting to join in. If y'all don't mind, if y'all are on the live stream, please share this, and let's try to get some more people on here watching this thing. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna start bringing people on. I got Luis Jasso in the house, Phil Spencer in the house. We got Joe Arthur in the house. We're having a little technical difficulties with Joe, but we're gonna go ahead and bring Luis in, and then Mr. Phil. What's up, Luis? What's going on tonight, man?
What's going on, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Captain Phil? What's going on, brother?
Good to go, man.
Good to go. Yeah, we're live right now, live on the Paddle and Fin podcast page. Just wanted to get everybody together, kind of go through, have everybody a chance to give a little recap, and talk a little bit about Sunday. Shoot, man, that was some pretty brutal conditions we had to deal with, to say the least. What you got on that, Phil?
You know, I've been through some pretty nasty stuff in all the years, but I've been in Louisiana where it's been worse than what we had. We had a front came through, and in Grand Isle we had to, and this is me and a lot of other Hobie guys during those tournaments, we had to go through, and I'm not kidding you, we're looking over, and I'm huddled down with the guy that actually won the tournament. We're talking about the year before, and this storm was so bad that we all got, I mean, there were 4 or 5 foot rollers coming through to an area. We had to go through that area to get back. Yes. I'm not kidding you. Me and Steve Lassard is his name.
Yep, Steve Lassard.
We sat and watched. I got goosebumps telling you. You know, the channel markers are green and red or orange. Mm-hmm. We watched a green channel marker, I swear, get so beat and went like this that it literally. Wow. And I mean, I was thinking we're gonna have to go around through this park that was over there on the end, and then pull over this little dam, and then maybe have to walk to get the cars. Well, it calmed down. About an hour after that, we all started to go in, and it's crazy because during it, one of the guys went by and he was hooked up, and he had a big Jack Gravel.
Oh,
you know? Wow. Steve was the only one that actually caught a big red that morning before that hit.
Yeah. And
I'm telling you, looking back, I can honestly tell you, I remember going over. I've been out in the surf playing around and been out offshore fishing, and I don't really get into as much because I don't eat that much offshore fish. But I saw these waves, and I remember going and getting hooked up on the crest of one of them. And I'm not kidding you, turn the whole boat, and I had to put both legs out and put my paddle down to stop myself from getting grabbed and flipped over this 4 foot swell that was coming in. It was so bad that the boat, the camera boat, got flooded, and they were hiding out.
Wow.
And, I mean, it was incredible. But that was probably one of the worst. But this past weekend, that wind was brutal.
Yeah, it was just brutal.
I told everybody there, you know, I said the only way to make it worse would have been pouring down rain.
True.
Would have made it the worst part. But the good thing is those who went out and actually put forth the effort to get out in it all came back safe. And the bottom line is that's the main thing is everybody came back safe. And, you know, like I said, and they actually went out and tried. They actually went out. Most of us wouldn't even got out of bed and said, I'm not going fishing.
Well, just recently you had to do a on-the-water rescue in one of the channels there.
That
gnarly.
I swear, I love to take new people, and I love to show them the easiest way to do things. I don't care what kayak it is. It doesn't matter. We're all out there to be safe, but you get in the mentality, hey, I'm going to stay up higher. I want to stand up. I want to sight cast. That comes in time, and even now it's not as easy as it used to be. So yeah, there's a lot of big upper body men that are into the kayak fishing, and you got to realize that the higher you are, the worse it's going to be for you in any condition. You're just I can't even, it's just hard. I wish people would actually kind of, don't encourage people to sit up high in those chairs. You got to get used to your kayak and the different conditions. You can't just go out and jump into it because you're going to get in trouble. And
True.
they were in trouble. His buddy in a pedal drive he could not, he couldn't even pull his kayak in. That's how bad it was.
Dang.
And that was easy. I helped the guy flip it over. So, and I pulled the kayak back to shore myself after I went and took care of the guy first. So, yeah.
And that's what's crazy about that area is that you also get that big tide push through there. And then when the wind stacks up against the tide in the opposite directions, it just makes for a brutal situation for sure.
It's a dangerous situation. And I tell everybody, look at those currents. There's always an eddy.
Yes.
An eddy it goes the other direction. If there wasn't an eddy in any of our bays or estuaries or even a river, the back end of that river would dump out. It would drain out. Water has to be put back into it, and that's what happens. So you follow those. Go down a ways before going straight across, or go with the current and end up farther down than where you are and
just
come
angle
back.
It down. Yeah, angle it. Don't just try to battle against it.
Yep. Yeah, get across as fast as you can. That's the main thing. Get out of that boat trap and out of that current. Yep.
Shoot, yeah, that's exactly it. Hey, we're going to try to bring Joe on real quick. We got Joe Arthur in the house. Let's see, we got situated here. What's up, Joe? We got you right now?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, good, man. How about that? We got all of them in the house tonight. We're only missing Renee right now. He is on vacation, enjoying some well-deserved time off. For sure, man. Luis, how much we'll start out with you. Luis finished second in the event. Phil talked a little bit about the wind. Just want to see what played into your game plan with knowing what the wind was going to be on Sunday. And a holiday weekend with extra boat traffic and vehicular traffic on the way to the weigh-in.
Well, my game plan didn't go as I planned. I was supposed to fish another area, but I ended up forgetting my my battery for my live well. So I had to. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, got you. Loud and clear.
And so I had to go back home, pick up my battery, and head back. So I didn't start fishing till I launched about 6:45, and I didn't start fishing till about 7:05ish, and I looked for the closest island that I can get, and I just hid behind there all morning, away from the wind. And the wind was still, the wind was still blowing, but it wasn't as bad as, if you're not protected, if it wasn't there, that shoreline. So it helped somewhat, and I just stayed my ground, there the whole morning, and I was just catching fish. Well, the first fish caught was about 26 inches, and he was already on my boat. But what happened was I put him on the boat, and instead of putting him on the stringer, I put him back in the net so he can get some oxygen, and I got the stringer back. And when I did that, he fell out of the net and into the water. So that was my first
tough
fish.
Break right there.
Yeah, that was the first fish I lost. And then the second one, I used my fish grips to grab him, and when I put him over the boat, I put him back in the net so I could put the stringer on him, and the net turned over, and he took off with my fish grips.
Wow.
So that was 2 fish I lost.
Dang. And that
Back
was
to back.
due to the wind blowing you around a little bit, maybe out of position with the net, maybe? Is that
Yep.
what? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what it was. And then after that, I was like, all right, I can't lose no more fish, man. So put my power pole down and just started blind casting as far as I could. and about like 5 minutes later, I caught another red.
Kevin said throw that net away and get a new one.
Yeah, and so caught another red about 5 minutes later. Brought him in. He's about like 6 pounds. He's pretty decent red. And then put him on the stringer. Kept fishing. Put the power pole up. Drifted a little bit more. Further up. And kept line casting again. Picked up another red. About 23 inches. Threw him back. Because I weighed him. He only weighed about like 4 pounds. So I threw him back. And then kept fishing more. And by the way, I was using A&M lures. So threw again. This time I picked up 28 and a 16th. He was over by 16. So I ended up having to throw him back. And I didn't want to risk it. You know, I know sometimes they would shrink.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah. And I was like, it ain't happening. So I threw him back and kept fishing. Did a little bit more drifting. Put the power pole up, let the wind take me a little bit. It wasn't taking me that fast. So finally I cast it again and caught another red about 25 inches. And I think that was about the last red I caught.
Yeah, that was the last one you put in. Yeah.
And he weighed about 5.5 pounds. So
you gotta take what you can get, man.
yeah.
Joe, what's up? What about you, man? When you got to the water that morning, you found what were you looking for to get out of that wind?
I was just trying for protection. I had an idea that staying close to that residence area over there that would give me protection. And for the most part, it did.
Yeah.
But being my friend and just, making drifts, not having to really work so hard against it.
Yes.
And so that was my plan all day, was just to get the protection to get out there, then use the wind to kind of blow me around, push me into the fish, and just power pole down, cast as much as I could.
Right. And you or Luis, y'all didn't have motors, correct? Y'all were just using your pedal drives.
Pedal drives.
Yep. Phil, what about you? You got to your area. You had a good little run to get to your area. Or you were fishing pretty close to where you launched at.
No, I went a long way.
You made a run.
Let me tell you, if I wouldn't have had that, I knew what the wind was going to do, and I figured I would go a certain direction and use the wind. But basically, I had a drift sock out, and then at one point I actually took one nice red and put him in a fish bag. So I had a fish bag and a drift sock out, and that actually slowed me down pretty good. The only problem I have was, like I said, I had to have that drift sock closer to the back, as well as that fish in that fish bag closer to the back, so I wouldn't take on swells that I had to deal with. And once I got around a couple of islands, it was a little better. And now I found a lot of fish.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get anything over 24 inches. And the one that I did, it was probably 27-ish. I had it, got it, get it in the net. Right when I went to get it in the net, it just, that hook just busted right in half.
I saw a picture of that one.
Man, I just was like,
heartbreak.
But the time that it happened after I lost another one. And it happened after I already caught one that was probably 22 inches. I was like, what else could go on? What else? So after all that, I was going, boy, if I can get my second fish and he's decent, I'll be happy with that. I'm good.
Right, true.
I got it, and I kept catching about the same size. It was really hard to try to use a scale out there in that wind. And I caught a lot of fish, and I thought I should have actually headed in a little sooner than I did, because by the time I head in, I went and looked at the wind forecast for that whole day, or what the winds did that day. I was out in 25 to 28 mile an hour winds.
Oh, yeah.
Coming back about that time when they were the peaks.
Yes.
And it was brutal, and I'm thankful that I had that Bixby motor on the back.
Yes, sir.
And I was also paddling. So it wasn't like I wasn't just sitting there. I had to actually paddle too because that wind was pretty brutal.
You were in to tried it?
I was actually in a Prowler 13.
Oh, the Prowler 13. Okay.
Yeah, I went lightweight, man. I went
lightweight for sure. Yeah. That wind was brutal going back.
I knew there was no opportunity to stand up, so why bother, you know?
Right, true.
You got Scupper Pros. I got all kinds of really fast kayaks, narrow kayaks, and all that. So I can change them out whenever, you know.
Yeah. Well, Joe, you put up a solid bag on a brutal day, man. 15.60 pounds, and you took Big Red with one over 7.5. Right? Yeah, something like that. What was your Big Red? 777, right?
Yeah, and about that one.
Dirty water. Your water was stained there where you were at. You had to deal with that wind, stirred water.
Yeah, it wasn't clear.
Yeah.
It definitely.
Yeah, Luis, how about you, Luis? Do you have anything you dealing with some dirty water? Did you find clean pockets here and there? Or you just dealt with what was there around?
The water wasn't so clear, actually. It was a little bit stained.
Yeah.
So I was just working with what I could, you know?
Yep. I feel you. My first line I wanted to go hit. That water was, real sandy, silty. Not like it was the day before. And I had one come and boil on my wake bait right off the bat, like my first pass. And then the second pass through, I kind of went and kind of targeted a little further over. There's a little clearer water, and I hooked up on one and did the same thing. I got him almost to the net, fighting him down, trying to thumb him a little bit and get him right to that net. And spam, it just came off. Pulled it in, looked at my wake bait, and there's that little hook was broke off on that one back tine right there, one of them tines. So took me out, lost a pretty good one, at least 6.5 to 7 pound fish, would have definitely helped me out. It's one of them things. Caught a couple of overs going back through there. And, I didn't really get my first, keeper fish till probably around 9:30. And it was a 22 3/4 inch fish. And then I picked up like a 20.5 on the next pass. And I was like, man, I got two. So I was like, I'm good to go with that. I mean, at least I got two fish. But I happened to upgrade, in about the last hour I planned to be on the water. Because I knew going back I was going to have to go back into the wind. So I was going to put that motor to use, and that's what I did. I put the hammer down, had my fish in the live well on the kayak, and just got after it, I was soaking wet when I got back to the launch. I mean, it looked like I had just jumped in the water for sure. I think we all can attest to that. I was a pretty wet ride that day. Yeah,
I was soaking wet. My whole left side was soaking wet, but I had clean water. For the most part, by 10 o'clock, you couldn't really find. You could find some sections of clean water that were
behind some islands and spoils. Yes, sir.
But it was 20 feet, 30 feet. It wasn't a lot, and you had a lot of dirt lines that were just going by. And by lunchtime, all that was pretty much done.
It's just done. So, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I caught in knee-deep water. So yeah.
Yeah, it was I caught mine pretty shallow up next to mangroves and stuff, and then the extra boat traffic running through the main flats I really wanted to target was just stirring the fish up so bad. There just was spooking them, and they were just real finicky. They would follow the bait in and wouldn't commit. I had a lot of fish doing that.
Yeah, where I was, I had probably 4 or 5 boats. I saw a lot of boats, but I had 4 or 5 of them go right in front of me. They were far enough away, but I was going that way. That's where I really wanted to fish, and they actually ran over all of that area. It was about waist to chest deep water with potholes. Really nice, but they just ran over it, and I thought, do I still keep going through there? No, I'm going to go a little farther this way and try to see what I can do. But, yeah. It was for a Sunday, as windy as it was, I couldn't believe how many people were on the water. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially no doubt.
I guarantee you, y'all probably saw a few boats heading down towards Baffin, early in the morning going by y'all. There was a lot of going the other way too. Yeah, out towards Kate's Hole and all that stuff.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of boats everywhere. I mean, for sure. It was crazy considering what the wind was doing. They were.
You know what? If it was a 3-day weekend, you're going to get out no matter what. If you're from out
you
town.
Are.
Yeah, I mean, to have it on a weekend like this is kind of crazy. But I think that's why the majority of us that fish didn't fish on the other side of the ferry because they didn't want to deal with the ferry traffic. I think that was everybody's had that on
Everybody had that.
To fish the other side.
Yeah. And there is a little bit of a trick there. If you can, but you don't know how long you're going to be in that line until you get past that last bridge. Because once you get past that last bridge, you can pull over in the right shoulder and haul butt to that parking lot. Then you throw your live well on a little buggy or a little wagon and then run across, and you jump on the first ferry that's going. They let you, as a pedestrian, you can jump on the first one. You can skip everything and just jump on. And then you got about a...
Hey, make sure your wagon doesn't have a flat tire.
Exactly.
Because you put that live well on there, you ain't going far with it.
You ain't going too far with that. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. But yeah, I think a lot of us over the years doing these live weigh-in events, we've kind of come up with our own little tricks and little tactics with our live wells to keep them fish fresh. And I mean, we're pretty good on that. I think out of all of us that weighed in fish, I think there was only one dead fish. Luis, you had 11.94 pounds in second. Renee Lopez had third, 10.71. Phil, you rounded up fourth place with 9.27. I was in fifth with 8.25. Then Tommy Burgeon had one fish for 4.75. Justin Gertz weighed in a fish for 3.91, and then that was it out of over 20 anglers. That was the only fish weighed in. So there were 5 2-fish limits weighed in out of that day, and that's just that just attests to how tough it was.
When it was tough Saturday, I was on the water with people here and there throughout the week, and I noticed that bite was really kind of off. I mean, we had them chasing baits that really weren't that aggressive, but with all the boat traffic and all that, I mean, the bite, it's like a lot of them big redfish have kind of moved out, and now you've got a lot of mid-slot ones all over the place, which is great.
Well, you had the PRL, which you had the 2-man boat series Thursday and Friday and Saturday also.
Yeah. Well,
so they were running around.
Weight beat all the girls' weight.
Yeah. And then the girls were there on Sunday with us. And then Kevin asked us a question. He says, did any of you pre-fish the day before in the same location you fished tournament day? And for me, that would be a no. I fished it Friday morning early.
Don't do that.
No, you're just killing them.
You don't ever want to do that. Just good advice. Do it 2 or 3 days before, but never the day before. No,
I'll go through and just run around and look mainly and throw here and there. And if I catch one fish on one flat, I'm like, okay, and I see like 2 or 3 more, I'm like, okay, I know there's some fish here. Yeah, right. There's no reason to go and sword lip them all like the bass guys are notorious for that. They'll go pre-fish the day before the tournament. I'm like, why are you even doing that? Pull your hooks off your top water, pull your hooks off your wake bait, cut the hook off your chatterbait, and then just shake them off like that. That's fine and dandy, but don't go freaking setting into them and ripping them all up. Right. Yeah, you can pull cut your hooks off your spoon or your wake bait and just burn that across the flats, and you'll get plenty of followers all day, and you'll kind of give you a gauge and get an idea of what's all on those flats and what's in the potholes that you're targeting. Kind of leave some locations, some GPS points there on your phone, and drop some pins and kind of remember where you're at. Then you go back over there, and hopefully them fish are still in the same area. They might not be on the same potholes, but they sure will could be around, especially if there's plenty of bait. But that's one thing we were talking about at the weigh-in there was how much wind we had really blew a lot of the bait away off of a lot of the flats. It definitely pushed the bait all around where it wasn't before.
Yeah, how many stories have you heard of people saying, man, I killed them there yesterday and couldn't get nothing today?
Yep.
That's what happened. They moved. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good question, but take that chance. But you might strike it good, but there's going to be a lot of times that they're going to move and they won't be there. And, you don't want to be disappointed. Just be happy with getting whatever fish you need to catch. You catch 2 20 inchers, great.
Yeah. And then you got to adjust too when the fish aren't there. You got to know when to call it and when to move. Different things, different tidal conditions, different wind, different things like that. Bait fish move, everything changes.
There were several guys that launched twice.
Yes.
So, yeah, and they still came up. But that shows you how hard that bite was. They should have caught at least one at both places, but they didn't.
Right. So, and then Joe, you're one of the few. There's a couple of other on the list there that come down from the Houston area and fish the tournaments down here. So how is that? Tell me the difference between, say, fishing Freeport and Galveston. compared to fishing down there in Corpus in the Laguna?
I mean, for me, I don't really think of it, like that. I just try to throw more natural baits for the most
Yep.
part. And so for me, like my cousin stays down there. We fish down Corpus or Pass quite often. Good, just getting out of my comfort zone and
Yeah.
being able to adapt to the two. But this go around, I didn't throw a natural looking bait. I was throwing gulp the whole time because I knew
Yep.
that
Darker color baits with that dirtier water.
I needed something darker. I knew it was the water and also something scent, and I didn't have any gulp natural color. All I had was the ones I use here on my
Yeah.
side.
Yes, sir.
So
Yep. Just adapt. Well, it sure the hell paid off. You beat everybody almost by 3 1/4 pounds from the gap from first to second. So you definitely had some solid fish for a really tough day, man. I'll give you props for that, dude, because it was brutal out there. I'm definitely.
thank you, brother.
I was sunburnt, wind burnt, wet, had tennis elbow and shoulder. Felt like crap. I mean, I cast. I mean, that was it. My arm was about to fall off. I threw that dang weight bait so much that day.
Hey, you're supposed to fish smarter, not harder. And unfortunately, on that day, we all had to fish harder.
Fish harder that day. Yes. That sums it up right there, really, Phil. I mean, that does for sure. Just with the traffic and the wind, everything, just the elements against you that day, it just made it for a tough day. And you can look at that leaderboard and see over 2/3 of the field did not turn into fish. So that definitely attests to how tough the conditions were that day. So yeah, props to everybody on that.
I'll tell you
That's
what,
a big accomplishment there to come away with a podium there.
I'll tell you what, man. I know you're a big fan, but if it wasn't for that power pole, I'd still be fighting right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that power pole is a big lifesaver for sure.
I know you, Dustin. You say you don't. That's not your style, but on days like that,
Yeah. Oh, I've had one. I just, just the way you could set up on certain areas and certain, if you found the right potholes you wanted to see or a certain area you wanted to work with a depth change, you set up on that. Yeah.
out sight fishing, where I go to Lighthouse Lakes a lot, and
Yeah.
I'll see a fish 4 or 5 foot from my kayak, and I'll power pole down, and he won't hear me stop. He won't hear that pole go down.
Yep.
I won't spook him or nothing, and I'm able to get down, grab my pole, and make it cast, and that would never have been possible by the time the wind blew right over that fish.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely on them back lakes like that. I definitely like that for sure. Just, definitely another tool in the arsenal that you can use to your advantage for sure.
Yeah, days like that,
So-
like I would am close to. I got that.
Yeah. Luis, you at work?
I'm at work.
Hey, you want to hear a funny one?
I see that radio.
Hey, a Bruce anchor works really well. That's
Yes.
what I love to throw out. I never put my anchor out all day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I literally did not put my anchor out all day. I was able to get close enough to these different places that I was able to actually put my leg over and stop myself.
Just crab walk.
Kind of crab walk.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was able to actually do that and just drag my feet, drag my toes, and then I had the drip sock too. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I never, thinking about it, I never put it out because at one point the boats burned a couple places. So I kind of had to, while I was drifting, I kind of had to have the drip sock out and I had the motor on low, kind of taking me at the angle that I wanted because the wind was trying to take me one way and I kind of wanted to go this way and with the wind. So I had to kind of use that motor and I was looking down at the grass going, okay, I'm actually drifting very slowly and I'm going in the way I wanted to get to and where I wanted to go. So that's how I ended up doing it real slow. But
Yeah.
I still can't believe I didn't even. I'm thinking about. I never put my anchor out, which is crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, I put my stakeout pole down through one of my scuppers just a couple of times, just in a little shallow area where I saw some fish moving through, and kind of they were all like 20s. So yeah, I caught plenty of 19 to 20 inch fish. Bunch of them little jokers.
19-inch trout. I mean, a 19-inch flounder too.
Flounder. Yeah, I had a 24 and a half inch trout. I had three trout over 20 inches that day on the wake bait too. That for some reason that early morning they were keying in on that wake bait in that clear water I found. They were just getting after it. Kevin Wills fished also. He said his power pole quit working around 8 a.m. on tournament day.
Oh,
so that's a bummer there. When you got areas you're kind of wanting to work into that.
What power pole does he got? Is it the first generation or the second?
Yeah, Kevin. What are you running?
Yeah,
you're still on.
That first generation.
That
definitely.
first one. Yeah, they had issues with the circuit boards getting wet.
That's the one I got.
Oh yeah, he's still running that one.
I've had it for 3 years now. I had no problems with it.
See, some of them were fine,
Yeah.
and then some of them had some issues. Yeah, they're definitely a good tool to have, especially if you're bass fishing too, and you're bed fishing and you want to sight cast to that fish, the spawning, and get them to eat, and then different things when you're punching and flipping and stuff like that.
Even if you just want to stop and eat lunch,
There you go. He never had issues with his, and he has a first gen, and that was the.
Yeah, I've never had issues with it so far.
Oh, he's got a second one now, but he never had issues with his first. Yeah. Damn, I'm sorry to hear about that too. Yeah, I know. This spring has been. Phil, you're on the water a lot. You guide. You take a lot of people. Cut that learning curve and all that good stuff, but. Compared to a lot of springs in past, where would you rate this one wind-wise? It's probably one of the damn windiest we've had in a long time, right?
Yeah, well, I tell a lot of people this. May has been a little windy.
Yeah.
But April is always a very windy month here.
Mm-hmm.
7 years ago in April, the wind blew like it did, that 40, 50 mile an hour.
Yes.
It blew all that brown tide from in the Laguna into the boat hole into Corpus Christi Bay. That got sucked out of Port A and the Packery, and our trout didn't make that turn in that year.
Yes.
That's why Matagorda and Galveston's trout bites went off the Richter, because I saw it happen. I was on the water every day, and I saw it happen. I'm not kidding you. That's just the truth. They can gill net all they want. The guy behind a computer can say whatever he wants, but when you live it and you watch it happen every day,
true.
That's what happened. But no, it is. This has actually been pretty windy for this year, because last year this time we were getting a little bit of wind. We had a lot of rain.
We had a little more rain.
Yeah, this time last year. So we had calm days after those rainstorms that we were having, which was nice, and we had plenty of fresh water. Now I saw on Facebook there was a fish kill somewhere, probably low oxygen, But this has been a pretty windy May. But April normally is always going to be windy.
Yes.
And hey, count your blessings now, because come the end of August and September, when it's dead calm, and by 8 o'clock you want to get off the kayak and lay down and walk and cool off.
Oh,
you'll be wishing the wind was blowing. So.
Yes, you will. Yeah, I know. I remember that last year for some of the events last year. I remember we had the rain, so I didn't really fish a lot of my backwater stuff up north because it was just so blown out. Right. We ended up fishing the flats, in Laguna, and it was clear and nice, and we had some light wind days for a couple of events last year. I remember that in May and June. I'm definitely laid down after some of those winds. We haven't had a really late front yet like we did last year. We had a couple of late fronts in May last year that kind of blew northeast pretty hard a couple times through the mid-month. We hadn't had one of them. I was like, I wonder when one of them was going to get back down, but we haven't.
Well, last year, year before, we had a front come in all the way to June almost.
June, yes.
And our water temperature stayed in the low 80s.
Yes.
To probably the first or second week of June.
Yeah, it was upper 70s, low 80s. Yep.
Which is fantastic, But that water temperature's already up there now.
Yeah, it's already mid 80s and climbing. Freaking brutal. Looks like we're about to have our first named storm coming across. Agatha come across from the Pacific, across Mexico, across the Yucatan, and looks like it might develop real quick, but it's going to shoot on off to the northeast pretty fast. But that's crazy. Already having one. see how this year.
I got pedal drives in Grand Isle. I got to go get.
Yeah, Grand Isle. We were there for Ride the Bull last year, and we left the Friday that they put the to get out of there by 10 a.m. evacuation order. We were there. We got stuck in a squall that night. You were talking about Grand Isle. We were on the northeast side of that, at that marina on the northeast corner of the island, and fishing up around some of them islands to the north.
Yep.
And got caught in 50, 60 mile an hour squall. Running back, I made it to one little bluff, and I jumped off the kayak and pulled it up on the bank, and just the wind just hit, and I mean the rain was sideways, lightning everywhere. Jeff Little was with me, and he had made it back across, but I got stuck, and I was just like, oh my gosh! And there was just one little window to calm down, and there was lightning everywhere, and I just got up, and we got unloaded and everything, and it was just like we went and ate dinner that night, and that restaurant there was just like nothing was going on. They were just like a normal night, but knowing that 2 days later that place just got wrecked, heart goes out to the people there. I know they're trying to plan that Ride the Bull again for this year in August. So we'll see how that all comes about, because I know that was pretty brutal last year.
I wish they'd had the kayak championship somewhere over there.
Yeah, level that playing field.
How many guys would have went? Well, who knows? But I would have loved to have had a championship over there somewhere, Delacroix or Hopedale or one of those. Yeah,
actually have a couple of events over there when they have their other redfish events. They should be having some kayak events over there. They'd get plenty with Bayou Coast Kayak Fishing Club. That's one of the largest and oldest clubs in the country over there. Plenty of members, plenty of guys that want to fish tournaments.
Yeah. I'd like to go ahead and do the one-man boat tournament. Since you already going to fish 3 events, hey, I'd love to go over there and go fish the one-man boat event if he'd let me.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
I'd do it. That's what I did today. Pulled the boat out, and that's what it's ready to go for the summer.
Get it ready. There you go.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome, man. I'll show you pictures of it. You swear it came off the showroom floor.
Keep them clean. Take care of your gear, and it'll last you a lifetime, man.
It's a 95, but you don't look like it. It was garage kept and pristine, everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to the next event in July on the 17th. So, game plans for then. The fish on the flats are definitely going to be dropping some weight by then, I'm sure. Anybody going to make an adjustment and go back to some back marsh and try to run the gauntlet across the ferry?
Well, remember, that's the time of year. Right now, that grass getting pretty thick. Yeah. And if we've got low tides that weekend and the grass is this thick, there are going to be so many places that are going to be unfishable.
Yes, true.
Yep. A lot of them.
Yep.
A lot of them. So
just might have to readjust on the next one. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
And then y'all don't forget, next weekend, Kayak Fishing Texas on the 4th has their event running out of Aransas Pass. There's a large boundary, like Bird Island, all the way up to like other side of St. Charles Bay.
I got to work, man.
Yeah, dang. Yeah, because that'll be a pretty good turnout. You got to work too, Luis.
So I won't be able to make it.
Man, thought y'all had to go over there and wreck them.
I'm pretty busy, and then I have a family reunion I'm going to go to. So, yeah, I mean, I love the tournament.
Saturday as well.
Yeah, it's just fun, just the camaraderie with everybody hanging out at the awards and weigh-ins, and then just being on the water in general. Just a good thing. Okay, it says after these 2 stops, who is sitting at the top of the AOI right now? I think that's going to be Joe.
I think we're tied.
Or y'all are tied. Y'all are tied, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm sitting in 3rd.
Hey, does he do that?
Yeah.
The rules say team. The rules say a lot of things, but the rules are from last year. So I don't even know if did he announce an AOI. I don't know if he did.
I don't know if he did or not. We need to.
I think everybody's looking at last year's rules, thinking that, because remember it says team AOI, not individual.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They do it for the boat series, and they do it for the one man. So hopefully he'll run something.
Got to ask him because you just never know.
True that. Yeah. Kevin had asked that.
It beat me and Joe. I think we're tied at 400 points right now. I think. Because I got
398 or whatever.
398, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you got 398.
Where do you have points at?
It drops
What
2
was that?
points from 200, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but is it posted on there how many points you have?
No, he hasn't posted anything this year. We just kind
Well,
of
that's
guessing
why
by
I
the
said-
by their places, you know.
Yeah, well, he did that last year, but that's why I said you got to ask him about the AOI, because if he's not posting up points, he may not be doing that. I don't know.
No, he said he would. He said he was. He was gonna know something soon. And the end of the year we get something nice. Say what? He just said he'll let us know.
Oh, cool. All right. Right on. Ron Henny.
A new
Yeah.
power pole.
Yeah.
A new power pole and life jacket.
There you go. There you go.
Mosquito repellent or shark repellent. There you go.
Yeah. We need some of them. But yeah, we appreciate what they do for us, you know, with the kayak division. I know some of the guys up north would like to see a couple stops up there. So, Ron, if you're listening and for some reason run across this, or somebody hears this and whispers it and sweet nothings in Ron's ear about running some stops up north, that would be probably pretty cool. Maybe a Matagorda stop or a Freeport stop. Get some of that north crowd in. And I know a lot of us from down here would go up there too.
Well, he's doing some of them up there, isn't he, this year? He's got
No, sir, he never put them. They never got put on the schedule.
And like I said, it would have been nice to spread out
Yeah.
6 tournaments, you know, between here and let's say the Texas border.
Yes.
You know, that would have been, because you could follow the boats.
Yep.
If you're going to do it the same day, you might as well and just, you know, kind of squeeze that in there. It's just the participation, you know, was it worth it? I'd go up to Houston. I enjoy going up there and fishing.
I do too. I love it. I
I
like
did well up there, so
diversifying my
a lot of
my
fun.
skills in a lot of different waterways. I'd like to see one down south, Port Mansfield, South Padre.
Yeah. Well, and but the problem you have there is you don't have but a handful of places you can launch a kayak.
True.
That's the only thing about down there is, you know, just a handful of places you can launch
Yeah.
a kayak versus this way. But I think I would love to see a six different tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Maybe drop 2, keep the top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really, really cool. You know.
Yeah, I know we dropped it to the one man this year just to see where it would go, because last year it was $250 a piece. It was a team was $500 entry, you know, and it kind of kept some people away, I guess. It's this one with the membership fees, and then the entry fee. Now, once you pay that membership fee, $105, I think, and then $50 for Big Red. That's a little more affordable, you know. In bass tournaments, I'm used to paying, you know, $150, $250, $300. Some of these bigger tournaments, so I like the bigger payouts myself. I'd rather be shooting for that, you know, a larger pot, anyways. So yeah, it's all good, man. Man, we've been rolling about 45 minutes here. We're gonna
Show me the money.
get wrapped up, right? Get wrapped up here. You know, I appreciate all you guys taking time out of your evening to come on Chasing the Tide here. We'd like to go live and do these recaps for these tournaments. Give anglers a chance to showcase, you know, they recap their day on the water and get some shout outs. So yeah, Phil, you got anything, anybody you want to thank or anything? Yeah, go ahead and get that out there.
Hey man, anybody and everybody, man, I'll thank all you guys for actually being a part of the tournament. I've been doing this is my 32nd year on a kayak, but there's so many young guys out there, and all I can say is, you know, thanks to everybody who fishes these tournaments. I wish more people would fish these type of tournaments, you know, but then again, like I said, you know, what can you do? You know, some guys pick and choose, you know, hey, I'm going to fish this tournament. No, the wind's going to blow too hard, so I'm going to blow it off. I'm not going to do this one. You know what? Take a chance. Hey, I pay $50 every time for Big Red, knowing I'm probably not going to get the Big Red, but it has happened. But, you know, more times I've paid and not gotten the Big Red fish, but I still continue to do it. But, yeah, I mean, thanks to everybody out there. Thanks to Ron, and thanks to you guys. Like I said, I enjoy fishing these competitions sometimes. I don't go out there to win. I don't care to win. I've won plenty. Like I said, my mentality is when I take 5th place, 4 people beat me, and I lifted 4 people's self-esteem because I'm an old man.
There you go.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Kevin said, well said, Captain Phil, well said. You know, and then we had quite a few people. I had Lisa and Jenny Garcia, who are kind of new to the tournament scene and stuff, and trying to come on board and give it hell. And they were near the location I was launching, and I went and, you know, spoke with them that morning, told them, hey, y'all need anything, let me know. I'll have my phone on me all day. Message me if y'all get in trouble or anything, and just let them know. They said, well, we've never fished here. So I kind of gave them an outline, kind of said, hey, y'all might want to look around here and here, kind of give them little hints, But yeah, props to them too for braving that weather and wind. That's pretty. It was pretty daunting that day, with all that wind going around. Joe, give you the mic now. You want to go ahead and thank any sponsors or thank anybody? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but thank you first of all. That's going on in the podcast. Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Like Phil, everybody, great. It's always fun. The camaraderie. Ron, letting us enjoy his series he has worked on so hard for. My sponsor, shout out Hoodoo Sport.
Yeah.
In a hell of a kayak. Thanks, stick.
There you go.
Tail and toads, rods, power pole. Got the water boy water tree, best water in the world. That I appreciate you and
all right. Yeah, you cutting out a little bit right there now. It's starting to cut out. Good to go.
All rolling.
Yeah. All righty. Yes, sir. All right, Luis, what you got, brother? Go ahead and take the mic. Wrap it up before they call you out there to make an adjustment.
So what was that?
I said before they call you out in the field to make an adjustment.
It's been 47 minutes and nothing yet, so.
Quiet night, buddy.
Night.
Hey, that board man's practicing some radio silence. That's what I like when I'm on the board.
But no, I want to thank you first for having me on here, having us on here, and it's always a pleasure to fish against you guys. I want to thank Ron as well. Ron Henning, he's been putting up these tournaments. This is actually my first full year fishing all the PRLs so far. I think last year I only fished one of them, and I fished with Mark Garcia actually. Yeah, I only fished one of them last year. I think it was like almost at the end of the year. But I decided to start fishing since it's a single man. I started fishing it this year. So I want to thank Ron for those tournaments, and then Alex Guerra with the Gulf Coast Weight Masters for weighing the fish and stuff, professionally. And then who else?
Hey man, we all need to meet up at Scuttlebutt.
There you go.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, hey man, we all got gift cards. Hey, for $300 or $400, we could bring the house down.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. Yeah, thanks to all the sponsors. Yeah, for the trail too. The Royce gift cards, the Scuttlebutts. Luis, you killed it too. You've been real consistent. Oh, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff, man.
Hopefully I can keep it up, man. Joe's a tough fisherman, man. All of y'all are, But right now, it's me and Joe are pretty close to those points.
Yeah.
If there's an angler of the year, so.
Yeah, if there is. Because Brian didn't fish this one, so he's out of the running now. He had a win last time.
It's gonna be hard for him to come up like that.
Yep. And then Renee was further back last one, and I got 2/5. And it's y'all are up there, but it's tight.
Yeah, it's gonna be real tight, because anything can happen the next two tournaments.
Yeah. Well,
so, but yeah, hopefully I do better next.
Stay consistent.
Next tournament, I have to be on my A game. I cannot lose those two fish at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
it's unacceptable.
Hey,
especially on tournament day.
None of these tournaments matter until you get to the championship. That's when you got to be on that A game.
That's
no
true
doubt.
Too, but still, I got to be on my A game on all tournaments.
Well, unless that day gets moved a little bit.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Hey, like I told you, I don't need it anymore. But
Yeah.
That's good. But see, I don't need any more. This is my living area. See?
There you go. There's that big mama. That's that water body record right there, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Look, see, isn't that pretty?
Wow.
It's beautiful. I got a whole bunch of them. I got a big red in the shed.
Big red in the shed.
Yeah, well, I got to get it redone.
Man, that's a nice rainbow trout.
Yeah. There's cabinets full of stuff, man. I need more. But
yeah,
no, I got a redfish in my shed that I'm getting redone. It has a big red I caught in Louisiana. It's got a musical. It's got a cursive R on it, or a musical note, whatever you want to call it. It's really cool. But I'm getting that redone. I got to go drop it off.
Man, that'd be awesome one. That'd be a cool one to have.
Well, I feel for everybody now because all the state records that are out there and the water body records are going to be so hard for people to try to match or beat. Just like somebody was commenting the other day about what is it, the elite angler. Go get it, Lewis. All y'all, hey, go get your 5 fish for saltwater and become an elite angler with the Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Oh yeah, Lindsey Day posted that on his page the other day. I just never even thought about it. I got pictures of. I think I got enough pictures and descriptions now. I could probably just submit all my pictures I have with them measured.
Yeah, you know what? You could do that, but they can't be more than I think 6 weeks old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got some of them.
You got to do it within a certain time period. I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
they do freshwater too.
Yeah.
But any of you guys have kids, or you know kids. There's a lot of kid state records out there, and kid water body records, kid catch and release records. That they may have them for the rest of their life. They could be our age and say, yeah, when I was a kid and blah, I have a few kids that have done it. But encourage all the kids to get out there and check those records because they could have a state record with that 28-inch drum they caught. Literally, I mean, it's not that big, but you know what? If the kid caught it, he could submit it for a state record. Wow. Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
shoot, yeah. Well, man, thanks. Thanks to all y'all for joining us tonight. I appreciate y'all coming on here, taking your time out. Thanks to all the listeners out there. If you don't mind sharing this to y'all's profile, get it out there, let some people see some info on these tournaments and stuff, and try to build this this trail. Try to build this this PRL single man event and get that rolling. Appreciate Ron again. Thanks for that. Thanks for Alex from Gulf Coast Wave Masters. Lauren taking the pictures, everything, at the weigh-ins and everything, getting the check situated and all that good stuff. We appreciate that all, and I appreciate y'all competing against y'all, top-notch anglers, man. It's always fun getting out there and grinding it out. So, yeah, looking forward to the next one, July 17th. Also, the weigh-in is at Roberts Point Park in Port Aransas. And that'll be all for tonight, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Dustin Nichols with Chasing the Tide, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Y'all be good.
Peace out.
All right.
Peace out.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You could support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures, your Midwest premier paddle sports destination. Go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle boxes today.
Yeah, and one more thing before we wrap up for this evening. I want to give an update on the Chasing the Tide 3 Bells May Mixed Bag CPR Challenge. I want to give a top 5 shout out. You got Robert Muzaki from Florida with 140.75 inches. That is 81 inches, his best 3 speckled trout, and 59.75. for his best 2 redfish. I'm sitting in second with 68 inches for my best 2 speckled trout and 61.75 for my best 2 redfish. Rolando Sanchez down in the valley, 63 inches for his best 3 speckled trout and his 2 redfish total 56.5. Courtney Ashburn over there in Florida, 63.5 on a speckled trout, 47.25 on his redfish. And then in 5th place from Aransas Pass area there, Travis Price, my brother, 57.75 on a speckled trout, 42.75 on his redfish. Big trout pot, number 1, a 29-inch fish from the northeast area of Florida, Connor Wathen. Robert Ruzaki sitting in second in the big trout pot, 28.5. Courtney Ashburn with a 26.5 in third, and me in fourth with a 24.5. And for the blackjack pot, 21-inch trout on the money, nobody has submitted a 21-inch trout. So we're just going to throw them out to whoever. Just do a random grab for some Texas Rather jig heads and some Grande salt, paddle tails, and kicking shrimp. So we'll have that. Just want to give a quick update on that. That wraps up tonight at midnight. So, yeah. Well, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Chasing the Tide's out. Thank y'all.